Actually, I'm going to walk you guys through a very important exercise that everybody should practice. Some of you guys might already know about this, but some of you folks at home might not, and that's why this is valuable. And it's about activating your core. So, you know, a lot of times you see these exercise videos or you see people on YouTube and they're like, hey, you know, do this exercise, engage your core. So really, what does that mean? Does that mean like squeezing your abs, or does it mean squeezing your glutes and abs together, or does it mean sucking in your belly, or what? You know, what does activating your core mean? So essentially what that is, to be honest, it's part sucking in your belly and activating those deep core muscles. So what are the deep core muscles? So there's basically, let's say, two main aspects to your core. There's the deep muscles, and then there's the superficial exterior muscles. And those are the muscles that we see: the obliques, the abdominals, those types of things. So those aren't really the muscles that give you the main support when you're doing exercises. They do provide a lot of the strength and contraction necessary to do a lot of the heavy movements, but really the muscles that support your posture and things are the deep core muscles, and the primary ones are the transverse abdominals, which are otherwise known as the TVA, and those create a band around the bottom part of your trunk here. That's your transverse abdominals, and those muscles are responsible for actually a way to activate that is to basically suck your belly into your spine. So when you do that, you're contracting your transverse abdominal muscles. So you could practice this at home. Basically, just put your fingers on your belly button and just suck your belly in to your spine. Make your stomach smaller. So there's like a maximal contraction, which is as far as you could go. And then there's like a 50% contraction, which is just activating that. So at a minimum, that's what we mean by activating your core, is get a contraction in your transverse abdominals. So you should be able to hold this contraction for a long time, because that TVA is made primarily from slow twitch fibers, and as we know, slow twitch fibers are more endurance type muscles. The other part of your deep core is your pelvic floor muscles, and those are the way to activate that is like if you're urinating or something, you're going to the bathroom and you want to stop yourself urinating. That's activating your pelvic floor muscles. So unfortunately, I can't show you. There's no really way to show you how to do that. But imagine just trying to stop yourself from peeing all over the ground. That's activating the pelvic floor muscles. So I'm actually doing it as I'm talking right now. And this one's a little harder for folks to do because we don't practice this a lot. But that also is part of your deep core that you want to activate together with your transverse abdominals. So when we say activate your core, I want you to practice drawing in your belly, activating that TVA, and performing that pelvic floor contraction. Some of you folks at home might know this as a Kegel exercise. So when you do that, you create a nice base of support for your spine, which would help you which would prevent you from injury, and also give your lower spine a good base of support for performing whatever exercise you're doing. All right, so that's the first part. And so there's a couple of exercises to practice that. You could practice that almost anywhere. If you're sitting down on a chair in an office, practice drawing in your spine and activating those deep pelvic floor muscles. Hold that contraction for about, let's say, 2 seconds, and then release. And you could do it in conjunction with your breathing. So you breathe in, hold that in, breathe out, hold it, and then release. So when you get comfortable contracting or doing that Kegel and that draw in, that belly draw in at the same time, then try doing it while you're normally breathing. So you implement that contraction. So I'm sucking in my belly, doing a Kegel, and I'm gonna just try to breathe normally. So part of this is also motor unit activation, and being able to kind of do this at will. And in the beginning, you're going to actually really concentrate on activating and engaging your core, so to speak. But as you get used to it, you'll be able to do it a little more naturally, and you'll be able to even talk while you're holding that contraction. So it's really important for you guys to practice this to prevent you from any serious injury or slowly creating any imbalances in your core muscles. So as you do that, you'll actually find yourself with improved posture, standing straighter. Maybe your back pain might lessen if you do have any back pain. So that's one of the first things that really anybody should practice. Doesn't matter if you're an elite athlete or just starting out. Make sure you have good control over your deep core tissue, deep core muscles, and being able to activate them at will and hold them throughout an exercise. So it's something that you should practice constantly. Okay, so here's one exercise to work on that pelvic floor contraction if you're having trouble like visualizing it. So lay supine on the ground with your knees bent, and if you're laying naturally, hopefully if you don't have any lordosis or extreme or flat back, you'll have you'll be able to slide your hand under your lower back. So I want you to maintain that position. Put your hands on your belly button, your fingers, and then push it down into your spine. So you're gonna try to contract those deep core muscles and hold that. So like I said, you practice this, you do reps of about 2 seconds, 2 to 4 seconds or something like that. Relax and then repeat. So this is, so you can practice this. Do it for about, let's say 10 reps. Do a hold, release 10 reps, and then do the Kegel and the belly drawing in contraction. Do that for about 8 to 10 reps, and then when you're used to that, practice it together with normal breathing, and then you'd have mastered at least your core activation.